Well, the coronation of King Charles-the-third will happen in London on Saturday, May the 6th. It's the culmination of decades of planning. Omar Sachedina is the chief news anchor and senior editor at CTV National News, and he joins us live from London right now. Omar, great to see you. Maybe you can start with how the feelings about this coronation are being manifested on the streets.
Well, Jennifer, you know, it's a bank holiday here in England, and the anticipation is certainly building. It's a little bit quieter today, but there are roads that have been already closed off and barricades that have been put up. And about, I'd say, a half an hour or 40 minutes ago, there was a changing of the guard. There were a lot of people behind me. There continue to be many people just to get a glimpse of something. So that anticipation is certainly building. We do know that Saturday's procession will be leaving from here at Buckingham Palace and then make its way to Westminster Abbey. That journey, by the way, is about 2 kilometers long, far shorter than what the Queen had back in 1953. Now, this is really in keeping with what the King wants, a celebration that is leaner, that is shorter, that is more scaled back, because this is going to be costing millions at a time when millions in this country are going through an immense cost of living crisis. Inflation is at about 10%. So this is something that the King is very much conscious of. So that will be a change that we will be seeing, a significant change. We also know that the other changes include greater prominence given to female clergy at Saturday's coronation. And we also know for the first time that there will be a pledge of allegiance that everybody in this country has been invited to give. Traditionally, this has only been reserved for peers. Now, that change has generated some controversy in advance of the coronation on Saturday, because the Scots particularly, where there is a huge undercurrent of republicanism and where there is a strong independence movement, they're already saying we're not going to be doing this. So perhaps no huge surprise, but even though there has been a desire to make this moment in history more inclusive, some people just are saying we just don't want to pledge allegiance to the King. We're not ready to do this, and thanks, but no thanks for the invitation, essentially.
Okay, interesting stuff. And of course, you know, the last coronation of Queen Elizabeth II happened when we weren't born yet, Omar, in 1953. So definitely some striking changes happening this time around, many firsts. Now, in the last decade and a half, Omar, we've seen royal weddings, births, the loss of Prince Philip, of course, and Queen Elizabeth II. Is there a way to gauge the level of public interest for this coronation compared to those other events that we witnessed?
From a historical perspective, Jennifer, I would say that there is interest. I mean, this, as you've rightly pointed out, is not something that happens every day. And certainly the last time anybody saw this was 70 years ago. So from that perspective alone, it is significant. I mean, Westminster Abbey has been the site of every single coronation since 1066. So from a historical perspective, yes, it's important. As far as the relevance of the monarchy, that is another question entirely. And certainly if you look at the polling in Canada, it shows that interest to the King and also his wife, the Queen Consort, who will become Queen after that coronation on Saturday, is waning. And the reason this is important for the royal family is because it shows them that they will certainly need to adapt. And one of the ways that that has come up is that, you know, they really have to start addressing a painful past, their colonial legacy. And so we've got a primetime special that will be airing on Thursday on CTV that will be examining not only Charles's relationship as a father, a grandfather, and also a king, but also what he needs to do to address some of those historical wrongs. There are a lot of people who are saying he hasn't gone far enough. He hasn't even apologized for that colonial legacy. That said, there has been, to a certain extent, an evolution, so you have to give them that. I mean, when the couple was in Nunavut a few years ago, they were criticized for laughing at throat singers, Inuit throat singers. A few years later, they went back and they were very much engaged. So we have seen that evolution. We have seen an education and an adaptation in them. But certainly, you know, we haven't seen that apology, and that is what people are saying they want to hear. So certainly they have a huge task ahead of them. Charles will not have the benefit that his mother had, and that was the benefit of time. I mean, she was a queen for several decades. He will not have that. So he has to make a significant impact in a shorter amount of time. But certainly, even though it's wrong of us to compare the two figures, you know, they are far different individuals and also have to respond to different challenges of their respective times, too.
Yeah, absolutely. Good point there. Omar Sajidina, chief news anchor and senior editor at CTV National News, live for us in London. Thank you.
Thank you.